You know those videos where the owner of a dog is like presenting two hands and then the dog has to pick one and then the dog picks a hand and then is presented with one treat and then the owner opens the other hand and there's like 95 treats and the dog's just like, well, you know, that's on me. I'm not going to eat those treats because I don't deserve it. I have never met a single dog that would not immediately eat part of that person's hand and every one of those treats. Where do they get these, like, English, well-prepared dogs? Dogs will run at 95 miles an hour into a plate glass door, but they are smart enough to understand the rules of gambling. They understand fairness in games. Where do they get these dogs? You know what? I lost, and that's on me. I'm gonna go eat my own ass. In Harry Potter, when Harry, in the last movie, goes to the train station with his kids and then puts his hand on one of the kids' shoulders and goes like, Albus Severus Potter. And I was like, oh, well, so he named his kids after people who were influential in his life. And then it started making me laugh because of the idea of him naming one of them Dobby. Dobby, you come back here right now. Not until you legally change my name. I named you after the bravest elf I ever knew. The bravest elf you ever knew had a stupid name. You could have named me shit and it would have been a better name. I know that people get really mad when someone says, am I the only one who? Because, you know, there's 7 billion people. Of course you're not the only one who. But I feel like I'm the only stupid idiot in the world who doesn't know the names of highways or interstates or fucking anything that I've lived near for the last 2 decades. And when people say, hey, did you take fucking 495 to get here? I have no idea. I punched an address into my GPS and I just fucking let Jesus take the wheel. And somehow I ended up here without dying. And I think that's what we should be applauding right now. Hey, what's a good threat or insult? I hope the Statue of Liberty comes to life and throws a building at your house. Is that something, did you already think of that before? Is that something it sounded like you thought of that and then I asked and you were like, I've already got this one for you specifically. Is that what's going on? I've got others if that one's too weird. Okay, so as new team leader, anyone who does not have a superpower but instead some sort of stupid gimmick will be given an Iron Man suit. That's kind of stupid. Hey Falcon, I'm glad that you know I was talking about you even though I didn't say your name. Kind of says a lot, doesn't it? Okay, first of all, it's not a stupid gimmick, alright? I have wings and I can fly. So can geese. I don't see any geese at this table. Other than you, maybe. I don't know if you're a goose. Alright, that's really rude. And I think I'm gonna walk away now. You can fly away. You've mentioned that you can do that. That's really funny, man. See you, man. He's gotta go anyway, probably. He's probably just looking for the opportunity to leave because he's gotta fly south. Have you ever, like, introduced a friend of yours to a new piece of information or, like, a phrase they haven't heard before? And then later on, you hear them use that, like bring it up in a different conversation, and they don't mention that you were the one who told them, and you, for some reason, are slightly bothered by that. Like, I feel like I've been plagiarized, but it's not like a quote that's attributed to me. It's just like the day on which Pearl Harbor happened, and them bringing it up is enough to make me feel like, they are plagiarizing me. I'm the god of knowledge, and they are merely my pupil. Why do you feel like you have a monopoly on little factoids that you happen to know and other people that you introduce to it don't know? You clearly didn't hear me when I said I was the god of knowledge. John, I tell ya, what do kids like? Snacks. No, you idiot. Kids like listening to other kids poorly sing the songs that they like. I've never met a single child that would say that. Well, you're just not hanging out with enough kids. Anyway, so let's call it Kids Bop and then go walk into the ocean. If we're having a conversation and I say, man, I fucking hate that guy. And you take it to me, you're like one of those people that goes just like, whoa, hate is a really strong word, buddy. Don't say that. What? You know I didn't say that and mean it like I want to stab them and their children. It just means like I'm fucking sick of him. I hate this guy. You know what I mean? What? Where's the miscommunication? I feel like it's mostly just people want to sound like holier than thou and like self-righteous. Like, I would never say something so heinous as hate. I don't hold hate in my heart because I'm a pure joy. Shut up. Fuck you. I hate you now. If you are genuinely upset when people forget what your name is, you're such an idiot and I hate you so much. They didn't forget that you exist. They forgot the word, the stupid, dumb, small, tiny word that is associated with you. That's it. That's the extent of it. I haven't seen or heard a name that I couldn't see myself forgetting. My name, for example, Patrick, is garbage. I hate my name. It's the dorkiest, dumbest, stupid name in the history of the universe. I sound like a leprechaun. I'm so sorry. What is your name again? It's Patrick. I'm gonna stab you in the throat. It's mostly based on convenience. The only reason that we have names. If I yell across a room, hello, person, then everybody's gonna turn around. But if I say Patrick, then, hey, maybe the guy who's named Patrick is gonna turn around. It has nothing to do with your individuality. It's mostly just convenience. Why do you care? Why do you care?
Dr. Octavius, I'm trying to sneak around, but I'm dummy thick, and the clap of my ass cheeks keeps alerting Spider-Man.
Raccoons are thieves. They're born thieves, and I love them so fucking much. I've been over this a lot, but they got little fucking people hands. They got little people fingies, and I love it. I love it so much. And they also got little fucking thief masks and like prison stripes, and they're practically born with a burlap sack thrown over the shoulder with a dollar sign on it. I wouldn't be surprised if they know how to pick locks. I was rewatching Ocean's 11. That is not George Clooney. That is like 6 or 7 raccoons, clumped together in a tailored suit. I want to know how long it took Hawkeye to make the decision about his hair and tattoos, after his family's dead. And in the movie it says, it's been 5 years. This is 5 years later. So we're sort of led to believe, these are changes that he's made over those years. But I'm desperately hoping that it was like 40 seconds after the ashes have fallen in his farm. And he's like, all right, what's the number for that hair salon? Like he goes and breaks open his in case of my family being disintegrated kit, and inside is like a sword and like stencils for a tattoo he's been thinking about getting for a while, but his wife wouldn't let him get. The only way he was able to get her to agree was like to create some crazy circumstance that she was very sure would never happen. Like, honey, if you and the kids are ever disintegrated by Thanos, would I be allowed to get that tattoo? My favorite kind of customer is the one that assumes that while you're also a customer service representative, your main job is coming up with rules for the entire company. Excuse me, why did you tell my son to stop doing what he was doing? Oh, well, you see, we have a rule, and he's not allowed to eat the legs of chairs, so... But why is that? Why is he not allowed to? That's honestly, I didn't think this would go this far. I thought that you would come upon the scene of your child working his way through the second leg of a chair and then assume that I was in the right for telling him to stop, but I can see that you're both insane. Many things in this world vex me. One of them is people who wear beanies on their head during the summer. That makes it sound like I don't have a problem with people wearing beanies on other parts of their body, but I really, going down the line, don't wear them at all during the summer. How about that? It's a winter piece of clothing, and you have chosen to break it out onto the scene, pulling it out of its special box that I'm sure that you keep it in next to your rack of Thrasher t-shirts, and you're showing it off to the world, and you're miserable because it's 99 degrees outside, and you're cooking your brain, and all 3 brain cells that you have left are like, man, I could go without doing this forever. And you're like, shut up, brain cells. I'll deal with you later. For now, let's ride. But you don't have a skateboard. So you just sort of sit there and you're miserable. And to be honest, you make me miserable. It's an area of effect attack that just splashes all the people around it. I'm seeing you be uncomfortable and I'm like, ugh. And I just have like a -1 over my head, like a video game.
When I became a doctor, I took a Hippocratic oath, meaning that I could never kill another hippopotamus.
This time, when we fight Thanos, we're pulling out all the stops. We're going to be at full strength, all right? Hawkeye's going to be there. Yeah. Because if he was there the first time, then Thanos would have just started laughing, and in that moment of distraction, we would have gotten the upper hand. I'm really enjoying all of the messages asking why I decided to join the Marines, and what disease do you have that made you shave your head? I'm not in the military, and I don't have anything like that. I just shaved my head because it's hot outside, and I was tired of having long hair. But I'm glad you guys are treating it like I'm going to die tomorrow. And for those of you, all of you, who decided that they don't like this change, well, too bad. I'm allowed to be an egg if I want. And I know that people shaving their heads is a sign of them fucking losing their minds, but that ship kind of sailed years ago, so that's not even a worry. I've got an idea for a new mythological entity.
Shoot, go ahead.
Okay, now buckle in, alright? He's called the Sandman.
Is he like the Lord of Deserts or something?
Good guess. He has the power to throw a handful of sand into someone's face and knock them unconscious.
Is it magical sand?
Presumably, yeah, I imagine so. I mean, I've never been hit in the face with sand, but it's never knocked me out. So I assume that his sand has some kind of special property that knocks you out.
Like melatonin or something?
It could be melatonin if you think about it.
All these fucking nerds think that the Batman is invincible because he's got all these strategies for every situation, and his tactical mind is unmatched in its versatility when faced with everything. So I have devised my own strategy to kill the Dark Knight, and it is as follows. Hit him with a truck. You can add your own variables to my ingenious plan, but for now, let's keep it simple and say you're driving a Bronco. Let's make it a shitty Bronco from like 1999. It's missing its front fender, but it's also a truck, and he's just a man.
You are simply forgetting the number of gadgets and gizmos he has on his person at all times, including an entire bat suit that is indestructible.
I'm going to hit him with a truck, and he's going to die. And then the headline in the newspaper is going to be Bruce Wayne and Batman, for some reason, died at the same time.
There's probably nothing on the planet that I hate more, and I say this a lot because I hate a lot of things, but there's nothing on the planet that I hate more than argument referees. I cannot be the only person who is like this. Some comment is going to be like, oh, you're not the only one. There's probably an insane asylum that has a person like this. But fucking, like, you'll be in the middle of an argument, and you'll just be hitting them with a barrage of amazing points. And then these idiots will show up and just be like, guys, come on, calm down, what are you doing? You were this close to killing each other. The world's overpopulated, what are you doing? No, but, this was mean-spirited and it wasn't constructive, and you guys were just yelling at each other about who's better between Kirby and Sonic, and it's not important. It's like, you just cost the world a double homicide it sorely needs. Do you think it needs me and this fucking idiot wandering around? If you have ever told someone that they need to smile more, I hope 11 pianos fall on you. And not in a row, like over time throughout your life. Like, you'll be in the full body cast from the first one, still in the hospital. Weeks later, months later, through bouts of physical therapy where you're, cheered on by your friends, and you're finally able to walk again, and you're leaving down those steps from the hospital, and you're like, this is a new lease on life. And then another piano will fall on you. Getting up to piano number 5, scientists would probably start to study you because they have no idea where these pianos are coming from. They're just appearing above you and crushing you every single time. But they do know one thing. It's probably your fault. Decades later, they're keeping you in an experimental bunker to make sure you're safe from this 11th piano that's coming down the line. And the doctor puts his hand on your shoulder to console you, and you turn around, but it's not the doctor, it's a piano. Accounts on Instagram that repost art are the bane of my existence. Some of them are very, well curated, and they're, diligent about crediting the artist in as many ways as they possibly can, linking to their Instagram if they have one, their art station, any number of websites, just being as advertising as possible, and also asking permission from the artist. Some of them are really good, but most of them suck ween. 9 times out of 10, they just post the art and then say who created it, and then that's it. They don't tag them on Instagram. So that leads you to believe it's like, oh, they must not have an Instagram if they're not tagging them. But then you look it up and they do have an Instagram. So then I'll go in the comments and I'll say, hey, this is the Instagram for the artist that you're reposting. And then they say, oh, I didn't know they had one. Did you just assume they didn't have one? You didn't even look it up or try? God, you suck so much. Well, these two are gay, alright, but just how gay are they? They're the gayest fucking people on the planet is what they are. So, did you fix my car? No, I couldn't figure out how to get the headlight to work, so I shattered the other one with a wrench.
You what? I swung at it really hard and it broke.
I've discovered the most fun thing that you can do on Twitter, and it's blocking brands. Sometimes when you're scrolling through your Twitter feed, you'll see like, oh, an ad for McDonald's, and then if you click, you can block the account McDonald's, one of their billion accounts, but you can block McDonald's, and you can do that for any kind of branded sponsored thing you see. And I started to do that because it's kind of fun. I don't know, like, let's see what happens if I just block all these people. And what happens is, the more and more accounts that you block, the more obscure the ads that you will get. So now I'm getting ads for like logging companies and coal mines and like, would you like to purchase crude oil? I can't stop. Like I want to see where the bottom is. I want to be getting ads